when he thanked his campaign staff today for pouring their heart and soul into helping him win. He asked them to now transfer that, to give the same to Kamala Harris. That transfer does appear to be happening basically at every level of Democratic politics, from the state parties, which are one by one now pledging all of their delegates to Vice President Harris, all the way to Congress, where we are seeing just a flood of endorsements for her and only her. Among the many endorsements for Harris thus far is one that has just come from the Congressional Progressive Caucus PAC. The Congressional Progressive Caucus PAC saying, quote, Kamala Harris will defeat Donald Trump, not only because she offers a stronger economic vision, but because she will defend the fundamental rights and freedoms that MAGA Republicans are attacking across the nation. Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal is the co-chair of the Progressive Caucus PAC, and she's standing by with Joy Reid. Joy, over to you.
Thank you very much, Rachel, and welcome, Congresswoman Jayapal. Thank you so much for joining us. So I do want to jump right in on that exact point. Progressive Democrats, the Progressive Caucus, really, I think, surprised a lot of people by standing so firmly with President Biden, as so many other groups were pushing him to exit the race. The Progressives stuck with him. And so tell me the level of excitement about this shift and his handover to Vice President Harris.
Well, Joy, it's great to see you as always. Look, I think that the Progressive Caucus has been President Biden's largest block of votes through his whole Build Back Better agenda, that whole first 2 years and everything we got done. We saw President Biden lay out something that was really remarkable, a progressive economic vision that lifts up working people, that taxes the wealthiest, that makes sure that no matter who you are, no matter what your income is, no matter what your race is, no matter where you are in the country, you have opportunity. And I think that was really a huge effort for all of us to come together and to help get those things done. And so, yes, there was a lot of loyalty to President Biden. I also think that there were concerns. It wasn't like everybody was completely on the same page. But I think, you know, you can't just look at who the nominee needs to be in isolation. You need to look at all of the paths. So I never believed that we should be having that conversation in public. I thought we should be having it in private. But what happened, happened. Now, I think what you have seen is a remarkable coming together now that President Biden has made that decision to step away, to endorse Kamala Harris. There was just an incredible level of excitement and support for her, because she is the candidate that was actually voted for, just like President Biden was, by millions of people across the country. Delegates voted for the Biden-Harris ticket, and so they know her, and they know that she is a part of President Biden's agenda, as well as the past agenda, as well as the 100-day agenda that he's laid forward, that he spoke about in Detroit. She's obviously going to put her stamp on that. But I think we all feel very comfortable that she is going to be able to build that same fragile coalition that we had in 2020 with progressives, with swing voters, with women, black, brown, young people. There is really that energy now. And so I'm just really proud to be all in for her. As I said to her when she called me yesterday, right after the president made his announcement, I'm 1,000% in. We got to win this. And she is the one that is uniquely capable of prosecuting, in every sense of the word, Donald Trump on our rights, on our freedoms, and presenting that working class agenda, that agenda for poor people, that is really going to mobilize people to know how their life will change when Kamala Harris is president of the United States.
So, Congressman, I just want to pick in a couple of those issues. That we know that there was obviously a lot of hard work that the Progressive Caucus did with the president. One of the issues that there was a divide on was obviously Israel-Gaza. The Gaza conflict has been a source of consternation for many younger voters, and it kind of started to peel them away from him. Kamala Harris got a much better reception on college campuses around that issue. Her presentation seemed to be less divisive. We've now seen that she will not be sitting in the well of the House when Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu gives his joint address, which he was invited to do. She will not be there. She will actually be in Indianapolis presenting to the Zeta Phi Beta sorority incorporated. She'll be there doing that instead. She's going to meet with Prime Minister Netanyahu, as will the president, but she's not going to be there. That's a big kind of deal. I've heard from a lot of Palestinian Americans and some who are in an activist role who say they feel relieved that she will be the head of the ticket because it actually reopens the door for some of those voters who were turned away on that issue. What do you make of that?
Well, I think that's absolutely right. You know, I had an opportunity to speak with the vice president when she was in Seattle a couple of weeks ago about Israel-Gaza. We spent about 45 minutes talking about it. And I do think she has a deep empathy for the situation of Palestinian Americans. It's more natural to her. I also think she's hearing from a lot of Black clergy. As you know, Joy, this is one of the top issues in the Black community, is this war. And I think that there is some real resonance with the Palestinian people in a very different way. Obviously, she doesn't have Joe Biden's long history with Netanyahu. She was not on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, for all those decades. Things that shaped him on that issue. And I think that she has shown time and time again that she is able to call for a ceasefire, for example, to talk about the plight of women, Palestinians, women who are being killed, the fact that 85% of children in Gaza have not had food for over a day in many cases. And so I think these are things that she feels very comfortable talking about. And I think there's a new opportunity to appeal to, and I'm not saying it will be easy, but I do think there's a new opportunity to appeal to Muslim voters, to young voters, to Arab American voters, to Black voters, to labor voters. These are all folks who care about this issue and think that Benjamin Netanyahu has basically done everything to stop any kind of a ceasefire or peace agreement. And so I think that's a huge opportunity. And I think she is going to be able to really shift the calculus on this.
Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal, I'm going to have you come back. I want to talk to you about the AAPI community's reaction to her, because all of my friends who are Indian American are losing their minds because she is also a part of the community.
So excited. I'm telling people how to pronounce her name. It's Kamala, and it means lotus in Hindi.
I'm telling you, all the aunties in the AAPI community are going wild. Pramila Jayapal, Congresswoman, thank you very much. Back to you, Rachel.
Thank you.
That was excellent. Yeah, the first time I mispronounced then Senator Harris. No, I think she was then Attorney General Harris's name. I got like 17 calls from friends, 15 of whom were Indian American, who were like, just think comma. Comma. It's okay. Your mnemonic is comma. I was like, right. Never forget it again. It is burned into me. All right. Over the